Welcome to the October 2020 Star Wars Canon Update. Last month, The Mandalorian returned, Squadrons came out, and we got 5 new comic issues, so let's dive in. Let's kick things off with the premiere episode of The Mandalorian. Spoilers if you haven't seen it yet, but Din is seeking out more Mandalorians to help him on his quest, and that leads him to Tatooine to find Boba Fett. Except it's not Boba Fett, it's freaking Cobb Vanth from the Aftermath books, who we last know to have Fett's armor. I am so excited about this connection to the books. It feels like the most significant book-to-live-action connection we've ever had in Star Wars. Something that was created first and foremost for a book by an author, and now we get to see it on screen. The first episode was fantastic and amazingly fun, and ended with the reveal that, oh yeah, Boba Fett is alive too, giving us our first glimpse of Temuera Morrison in the show. I've done a full review of the episode already, and I'll link to that in the cards. Star Wars Squadrons is the latest Star Wars video game to release, and I love it. I've done a full review of that as well if you want to check it out too. I wouldn't say it's for every single Star Wars fan because not everyone likes pilots and starfighters the way I do, or flight simulator games, but it was right up my alley. The story was over 6 hours long and involved a fight to save or destroy the New Republic Starhawk. I won't spoil how that ends right now in case people haven't had a chance to play it yet, but even though we know the Starhawk continues to exist in the galaxy, there were plenty of twists in the story to enjoy. I've done a full review on the story itself as well, if you want to see that. But moving into comics, Star Wars Issue 7 was kind of a transition issue, setting up the next arc of the series. We've already met the new antagonist, but we get to see her backstory as protege to Grand Moff Tarkin. That history has some very fun ties back into the Tarkin novel, as she is sent on a hunting mission on Will Huff's homeworld of Eriadu, and we learn what drives her to seek revenge against the rebellion, but more specifically, Leia and Luke. It wasn't my favorite issue so far, but I think it'll be important setup for the issues to come. Darth Vader Issue 6 also felt like a bit of a transition. The Emperor is upset with Vader, surprise surprise, and he punishes him for acting a little off his game in the first 5 issues, allowing Sabe to live and stuff like that. I'm glad we got confirmation that she is still alive. It was kind of ambiguous last month. Palpatine leaves Vader for dead again on Mustafar, and then sends Ochi of Bestoon after him to, for like the 10th time, make sure he is still worthy of being his apprentice. It feels a little familiar to me as setup, but it was still cool, and I'm intrigued to see Ochi again. I really like the idea that some of these stories can start to tie into the sequel trilogy more strongly, and hopefully start to increase my enjoyment of the elements I didn't like as much. Dr. Aphra Issue 5 wrapped up the first story arc in a fun way. She's been after these supposed rings of power this whole time, and we learn that they don't really have power at all. Well, maybe they do, but not enough power to keep the main antagonist, Ronan Tag, from being incinerated and nearly killed. It looks like the role of main villain is now shifting over to Domina Tag, who was in the original Marvel Star Wars comics, and I like that connection. Of all the new comics, Aphra feels like the weirdest, the one most like the old Star Wars comics that just got to be wacky and off the wall. I look forward to the next arc, but I hope it keeps the treasure hunting aspect of Aphra's character that I enjoy so much. Bounty Hunters Issue 6 felt like a bit of a turn for the series. I really like it when the spotlight is given over to some of the lesser-known bounty hunters, and we got a really fun fight with Forlom and Zuckuss. Valance is on the run with this kid still, and he heads back to his ex-girlfriend's rebel cell with the 2 bounty hunters not far behind. That ties back to the Target Vader series, which I didn't love, but I did perk up seeing some familiar locations, and I think it'll be cool for the future. The first issue of the Star Wars Adventures reboot was released, and it was fine. That's almost always my review for Star Wars Adventures, fine little stories aimed at an audience much younger than I am. But I did like seeing Poe and Rey's friendship develop, as this story takes place in between episodes 8 and 9. That got kinda glossed over in the movies because of the time jump, and the other story was just a retelling of the Battle of Hoth, and adaptations don't generally interest me, but whatever, again, it's fine. Story of the month has to be The Mandalorian. To be fair, it's the most fresh in my mind because I just watched it, but I cannot get over my excitement for Cobb Vanth actually making his way on screen in such a major way, and I'm relieved the second season of the series hasn't lost any steam. In November, we're continuing on with 4 more episodes of The Mandalorian, the new From a Certain Point of View book for The Empire Strikes Back, the Tales from the Galaxy's Edge VR experience, and 8 new comics. The Canon Update will return on December 1st to cover all those new stories. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel to keep up with Star Wars content as it's released, follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.